Right, thank you very much indeed for joining us tonight. My name's Victor Jones. Welcome to Abi on Sunday. You're watching us on our local channel 33, international channel. It's on 399 on DSTV. You're also listening to us on frequency modulation 11.7 on radio. On the panel this evening, I am joined by the Honorable Dr. Alhaji Alpha Kando, Principal Advisor and Spokesperson for the President. Alphonsus Gbani is Executive Secretary for the Human Rights Defenders Network. And also tonight we have Honorable Alpha Ben Mansoure. He is Deputy Parliamentary Spokesperson for the main opposition or People's Congress Party. Now, viewers and listeners are highly encouraged to participate in the program by dropping your comments on our Facebook page, It's AYV News. Go there and drop those comments, albeit in a very decent and well-framed manner. Good evening, gentlemen. It's a pleasure having all of you tonight. It's a very critical discussion. I would like to hear from the government spokesperson, His Excellency's right-hand man, Dr. Kano. Good evening and welcome. How peaceful would you say Sierra Leone is, Doctor?
Thank you very much, Victor. And I'm happy with the introduction and the last concluding statement you made. The nation that forgets its past is doomed to fail. You took us 21 years to the Lome Peace Accord, things like that. I'll take you 34 years. 31 years to 1991, on the 23rd of March, 1991, when all was quiet and peaceful in Sierra Leone. And then we had the very daunting news that the senior officers of the military of Sierra Leone in the forward patrol at Bomaru, Major Fodi, Lieutenant Osman Kago, had been killed, together with 11 civilians. That is when we realized that what Charles Taylor had been saying, that Sierra Leone would taste the bitterness of war, awakened us. The succeeding years rewrote the history of a once peaceful nation. Our history now became the history of a war-torn nation. Therefore, the period from 1991 to 2002 was an epoch of the most fratricidal, horrendous war of anything a man can unleash on his fellow man. The turning point only came in January 1996, when the young Captain Julius Maada Bio took office as head of state. He immediately embarked on a peace-building mission, shifting the war paradigm from confrontation to that of negotiation. He did succeed, and lest we forget, let us remind people, for those of you who are there, and those who are not born yet, it was Julius Maada Bio, then head of state in 1996, who first brought Fodi Sanko and the RAF to the negotiating table. That act of courage planted the seed of dialogue when others thought the only option was war. He then did what was almost unthinkable at the time. He was young, was a soldier. He handed over power peacefully to a civilian government after only 3 months in power, thereby demonstrating to the world that Sierra Leone was ready for democracy rather than dictatorship. President Kaba built on it. He built on the peace platform that was left by President Bio. He midwifed the Lome Peace Accord. Out of the Lome Peace Accord, one of the takeaways from there was to set up a TRC, the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. That was set up. And then the recommendation was that in order to have sustainable peace in Sierra Leone, we should have an inclusive government, justice reform, which you mentioned, national unity, and ending the culture of exclusion that fuels violence. In 2012, Maada Bio came back contested elections and lost them. But he accepted the results to maintain the stability of Sierra Leone. But when he returned in 2018 as president of this country, we all know what he did. He called for a national dialogue, Bintu Manifo. And it was there that the ICP-NC was conceived, conceptualized. And that, from now on, we knew that the ICP-NC has been working assiduously to try and put out any fires that were in the point of blazing. And then, of course, President Bio in 2022 also thought that maybe electoral assistance, which he just mentioned here, that the opposition wasn't happy with the results. Thought that, well, the best thing to do is, why don't we have an inclusive and kind of a proportional representation, which we had. And we all saw that that reduced the incidences of violence in 2023. So that is the position he has held. He has tried at every point to show that he was patriotic, he was peaceful, and is looking for ways in which Sierra Leone can stay sustainably in peace. Very recently, the celebration which you highlighted as the key for this discussion today, the ICP-NC Peace Day celebration, we had the Minister of Justice and Attorney General. He went there. He gave the keynote speech. But my takeaway from there is that he said, peace was a verb. We must verbalize peace. Peace is an action word. We should act peace. We should do peace. We should engage in peaceful activities and all that. And that's what I think he meant. And in that, he told us that they were doing lots of things. But because of the peaceful nature of Sierra Leone, to answer your last question, is Sierra Leone at peace? Let us look at the world's global rankings. We have been ranked as the third most peaceful country in the West Coast, in West Africa. We've been ranked as the first in the Mano River Union. We are ranked as 57th in the whole world. To put that into perspective, compare that with our nearest neighbor, Liberia. It's at 90 or thereabouts. Guinea, next door, is about 120th. And the Niger island of Africa, Nigeria, is 147. So that in itself is something to celebrate. To answer your question, yes, there is a peaceful atmosphere. But because it's like an egg, if we drop it, it will break. We have to hold it.
In essence, we're enjoying a fragile peace.
It is fragile. Okay. It is fragile, but you manage it and try and make it sustainable. There are certain things that you must do. Okay. Like the reform.
We'll come to those ones. We'll come to those ones in a jiffy. Let me hear from the main opposition of People's Congress, from the spectrum where you're studying, your lenses of viewing things generally. Do you think things are translated as almost, physically, uprightly as Dr. Kanu has painted them tonight? How do you see things from the APC? Is it the same as the picture Doctor has painted?
I have a contrary view. Thanks for having me. Okay. And peace is not simply the silence of weapons and or the absence of open conflict. It's where true peace must rest on justice and inclusion and equal participation. And the government spokesman has highlighted the history, the war. There are many sad stories about the war, and we appreciate that we have peace when it comes to war. And we are no longer talking about weapons any longer. Okay. We are talking about issues that surrounds the livelihood of citizens, how a country should live. And noting the celebration, of course, I know, for me, I see it as a cosmetic celebration rather than the daily realities. Because for normally when we do these celebrations, we just want to match up to what other countries are doing. But let's come back to the ranking. In 2024, Sierra Leone was ranked 66th. And compared to the current ranking, we know that there are significant improvements. But why was Sierra Leone ranked 66 in 2024? You know, normally they rank due to the other year, let's say 2023. You know what happened 2023? There are issues that has to do with political instability. You know, we had a lot of chaos in the country, and our democracy is fragile. And, you know, we contested the legitimacy of the 2023 elections. That has to do with widespread of irregularities, statistical inaccuracies, lack of transparency. So we've seen again during the campaign, the 2023 elections, where are many areas, especially the Southeast, the opposition was not permitted to campaign in certain areas. And if you conduct an election, then now you see that we rank 66. We are still, citizens are still, you know, they are still grieved with the outcome of the elections. So we can say we are at peace after the war, but the lives of citizens are still not at peace because of the election irregularity. And the other area again is the area of the security sector. We've seen how the security sector has been politicized. You see selective arrest. Like, for instance, if you compare wherein we saw a lot of demonstrations somewhere in the Southeast, you saw police officers and military officers guiding those people, securing them. And on the other hand, when you come to the West and the North, you see arbitrary arrests. Some people were killed and the rest. So if you want to measure peace, you cannot measure peace where you say the other side of the region, you have security people giving citizens the opportunity to demonstrate. Now, let's go again to the area of economic hardship. Where there is an empty stomach, you cannot have peace. We know as citizens, since 2018 to date, we've seen rapid increase on the cost of commodities. The government spokesman may say there has been significant improvement in the prices. That's true. But 7 years down the line, citizens have experienced some, and up till date, we are still experiencing high price of commodities. And then let's come to public health and security. You know, like I keep saying, let us don't take peace celebration as a cosmetic. Let's translate them to reality. Coming back to drugs issue, this is a country where up to now, this government has not given any tangible answer about a drug lord who was suspected to live here, and we've heard from police officers saying, yes, they can only identify one Mohammed Sheriff. For us, it's a shame as a nation for the progress we've made over the years. Today, young people are dying in the streets. Can you say we have peace? No. You cannot create an enabling environment where you allow drugs, people to sell drugs. Today, even when you monitor the Liberia situation, you have the Drug Law Enforcement Agency for Liberia. You see the measures they put in place to see that they track those people that want to take drugs into their country. Unlike Sierra Leone, government hasn't done anything. So let's assume somebody comes from another country and kill one Sierra Leonean. Will that not trigger war? It will trigger war. So why do you allow drug to ravage the country and youths are dying? There's no peace.
So because of all these indicators, you're saying there's no peace? Now,
you see, that's why I'm saying peace cannot be measured as the absence of or the silence of weapons.
All right.
We want to see that citizens live in a way wherein we say, okay, today I can go to the market. You talk about, during your intro, you talk about the minimum wage. If a minimum wage cannot afford to buy a bag of rice, or just after buying a bag of rice, can citizens sleep in peace? No, they have to pay fees for their children. We've seen the era of free quality education that has failed woefully. It's a deceptive agenda, saying we're going to afford free quality, but today still parents are paying remedial fees. Yeah, parents are finding it difficult to afford for their kids. We've seen recently where teachers demonstrated that they will not go to work until subsidies are paid. Yeah. So let me take you somewhere again that's very, very, very important on the area of this. I want, when we are ranked as a nation, there's no thing because we are ranked, then we need to celebrate the ranking. The thing I want to underscore here, we appreciate the peace. We know that we have peace in Sierra Leone. And there has been significant progress from 2024 to now. Okay. At least you can see that the tensions we had in 2024, arbitrary arrest, it has slowed down. That one I can accept. Okay. Yeah. So if we are to say we have peace, where we don't have justice, accountability, and the respect of human rights, we're still experiencing that in this country. People cannot access justice, unfair justice, not only for the opposition, even for the poor. Can you say a plot of land where citizens have been using for recreation at Kisi, where peoples are using, now most of those lands have been sold? Could that not trigger chaos in the country? We cannot only say it's weapons. We don't want to hear the sound of guns, but citizens must live in peace. Even the recreational opportunities for people, the recreational facilities they deserve. And if that one is taken away from them, you cannot say that country is in peace.
Right.
Wherein people cannot access justice, even within the justice sector. You can see one morning that a judge has been suspended for just expressing his view about what he believes that his human rights has been violated. The next day, what you hear? I said, what about, is it a tribunal? You name it. So there is so much more to look into in this topic.
All right. Let me now hear from Alphonsus. You are coming from a neutral perspective here, someone who's followed human rights issues in Sierra Leone for decades. We've listened to the politicians, the main opposition and the ruling SLPP, the man who speaks for the president. Where are you coming from? Do you think we have peace in Sierra Leone, or we are enjoying peace?
Thank you very much for having me, and I'm glad that I've been placed at least at an angle that I'm not between the two politicians, the two people that have held this country to ransom, the APC and the SLPP. So I'm on the fence, and Big Brother is very close to me. Let's just put this thing, let me put it into context, because the way we are discussing, somebody down there will not understand the context at which maybe the government is maybe celebrating the Global Peace Index report. And I just want to inform our listeners that the Global Peace Index has 23 indicators they use to determine the peacefulness of a country. And those 23 indicators are grouped in 3 core areas. One deals with social safety and security. The other deals with ongoing domestic and internal conflicts. The third one looked at militarization. But let me just give key bullet points so that when I want to respond to the issue, people will now understand. Okay. If you look at the issue of social safety and security, the Global Peace Index will consider crime rates. They will also consider the issue of terrorism incidences. They will also look at political stability, number of refugees and internal displaced people, harms from violence demonstration, ongoing domestic and internal conflicts. They will consider number of deaths from internal and external conflict. They will also consider the number and intensity of conflict. They will also consider a number of external conflict fought and political terror. For the militarization, the global index will look at military expenditure. One, the number of armed personnel in the country. They will also look at weapon imports and exports and the use of drones. With these areas, these are the indicators the Global Peace Index used to determine the peacefulness of a country. Now let's translate these indicators to the context we are living on. How many of us in Sierra Leone will talk about the military expenditure that have anything to do with military expenditure, import and export of arms? And I'm grateful that our colleague, my brother from the opposition, mentioned, if Sierra Leoneans want to determine, to understand peace, they will not look at the issue of weapon, arms, number of armed personnel, number of conflict fought or not fought or whatsoever. They will look at the justice system. How many people that are accessing justice? How many people that have been denied their rights because they are poor, because they are from the opposition, or because they cannot even afford somebody legal representation? That is the areas people start to look at about justice. They also look at how many of them that can go to bed with 3 meals a day, and they don't have it, even one balanced diet a day. These are the areas people look at to determine peace in Sierra Leone. This is what we are celebrating, is where the Global Peace Index determines their own way of peace. But in Sierra Leone, peace is a relative terminology. For my big brother that is seated here, probably he will not feel the pinch as to how people suffer.
Why do you feel so?
Get their daily bread. At least as of now, is a principal advisor to the president, and at least he may be comfortable in terms of his living standard. And he will not eat less than 32 loaves in your introduction. He will not eat that. He will eat far above that. There are people that are eating less than 35 loaves. That is why people don't even buy fruits, because if you go and buy banana, they will tell you 2 banana or 3 banana is 20 loaves. That man will prefer to go and buy rice. Yeah. And so these are the way we tend to determine peace. We also look at the participation and inclusion. How many of us have witnessed political inclusion and political participation in the country? So these are the parameters we have to look at. While we appreciate the Global Peace Index in their own way of making a determination about the peacefulness of a country, we also have to look at the practical nature as to how we understand the word peace itself. When somebody cannot even access his or her land or her property, you will not find peace in that particular person.
Now, Dr. Khan, I come back to you. You're the spokesperson for the presidency, largely, and it gives legitimacy to whatever you will say here tonight. But let me just paint a context before asking you this question. I've been reading a lot of reports, actually. This one is from World Bank and the UNDP, all 2024. So according, over 56% of the population in Sierra Leone lives below the national poverty line. Around 60% of the population lives on less than $1.90. They bracketed it as extreme poverty. Now, on the WFP, World Food Programme report for 2024, they say 4.7 million people in Sierra Leone are estimated to be food insecure. 1.2 million people face severe food insecurity. They termed it as IPC 3 or higher. Districts with the highest hunger rates in Sierra Leone: Falaba, Koinadugu, Tonkolili, Karine. They also measured child malnutrition, which is at 29% of children, mostly under 5. They're saying they are stunned. Now, as Joan Galton puts it, he's the father of peace and conflict. He says that hunger and poverty are the silent killers, forms of structural violence. In his view, he says nations with high level of unmet basic needs, that is food, water, and all of these basic amenities, even if not at war, are experiencing what he called negative peace, not true or positive peace. So he quotes, "A person dying from starvation is being killed by a system. Peace cannot be said to exist with such violence is tolerated." Galtung, 1969. This is just a scenario. In essence, from all of these research I've read from these reputable institutions, it appears as though we cannot or should not celebrate peace. People are still hungry. Doctor?
Thank you very much. We've listened to Alphonsus. He's explained to us the indicators that determine the peace index, the GPI. As far as those are concerned, Sierra Leone is at peace. External wars, internal conflict, we don't have that. That's a peaceful situation. The militarization, we don't have that. Then, of course, the social security, level of crime in the streets and all that, we are far better than a lot. So as far as that is concerned, those three groups and those 23 indicators, we passed them. So let us say, yes, the 57 grade given to us is well deserved. Now we are looking at social delivery within the country. That's what you're talking about now. It is not today that the population of Sierra Leone lives, a lot of them live below the poverty line. Some years back, it was 70% of the population below that. Now you're telling me it's 56%. There's an improvement. Rome was not built in a day, but by step, by step, by step. It doesn't happen automatically. Abracadabra. Then the president realizes that. Says in my second term, I will focus on feed salon, because that is what matters to our people. Not too long ago, rice was being sold at nearly 1 million leones a bag of 50 kilograms. Today, I buy rice from the market for 640 leones.
Which type of rice?
The rice that I eat.
Which one?
Which you eat. Well, I don't know if you eat.
There are types of, Doctor, there are types of rice.
I eat normal rice, which everybody else eats in Sierra Leone, except the people that are well done out, like you. I eat rice, what do you call pusawar, and the pampa rice I eat, understand? The ones that I eat, ordinary people. The 640 leones. Maybe the basmati you have might be 1,200, but that's your choice. Okay? Now, he says, let us focus on feed salon, increase rice production, which is happening. I think some time ago, about in the middle of July, I went to Mambolo. In the middle of the rainy season, people were harvesting rice. The second crop of the season. This is from the encouragement and the intervention of the FSRP of the Ministry of Agriculture to ensure that people do understand that you don't have to wait for the rains for you to start cultivating rice. This rice was cultivated way back in April when there was no rain. So they're harvesting in July. And I know that with the input from the supporting agencies, we are now trying to irrigate large swathes of land in Tumabom, in Bondapi, and there are plans to do that also in Mambolo, and some to increase productivity of our farmers. And let me tell you how important this is. This is important because coming here, I was listening to the BBC. They are worried about their food situation in England. For the first time, they have grown rice in England. They are harvesting now. Rice. You have to think outside the box. Outside of the potatoes they eat every day, they know that climate change is going to affect its cultivation. And extra effort has to be done. We have to look at others. They are now trying to plant rice in England, taking advantage of the climate situation that is warming up. They are harvesting rice. Go and check it. They're planting rice now in parts of England, and it's going to be part of their own policies now to ensure that rice is part of their crop production systems in the country. So that is what we are doing. The president is saying, let us all go to the farm. We don't want to sit here and wait.
Do you think we are food secure?
No, we are trying to get to be food secure. No country is food secure. Maybe America is, but there are very few. No, people still import. Even other countries still import food. When the war in Ukraine happened, most of the wheat that was supplied into other countries, including developing countries like Europe, they suffered when the supply chains were broken because of the war. So this dependence on other countries is also being affected by conflict. So the conflicts that we're talking about here, hunger and all that, it's not really the one you can focus upon and say that the president has to do that and stop this war. What he's doing is that he's trying to get us to know that we must rely on ourselves. We must go to the farm, grow what we eat, and plant what we eat. Not like you. I eat rice that's grown in Sierra Leone. You eat basmati from India. It takes a long time to come. The ship, suppose it's disrupted on the way. You won't eat. No, I'm sorry, you're going to look for Gary that day. So we must have diversity. Now I must answer my brother here.
Okay.
You're lucky today, you have 3 alphas. Alpha. How did you do that? Now, Alpha has said that in 2024, our rating, the GPI, was 66. But now it's 57. He has agreed that there's an improvement in the GPI, the Global Peace Index. So that shows progress. But he said that in 2024, there were disputes over election results. And I'll even clear that today. Those disaggregated results that you're talking about, Alpha, I used to be the man responsible for the APC's Coalition Center and organizing all those reagents that go into the polling stations. They give you an RRF form immediately after counting. It has your number, what you have scored. That is given to the agent. And it is pasted on the wall of the polling station for 3 months. I went to Jaya Maswafe after June 2023, I think April, May, June, July, August, September. I went to the polling station, that is the town hall there. It was still there. So when people say they don't have the disaggregated results, they're just lazy to go and look for them. No, they're just lazy. First of all, you have them. They gave them to you. Every party that took part had all of their RRF forms given to them the moment the counting was certified. They had them. So they were just being mischievous. To say that they don't have disaggregated forms. Go and check. That is the policy. Immediately after elections, they are given to you and they are pasted. So what's the difficulty? Go there, asking people, go now send me that number we can get. So that, and then he said that the elections results, they disputed them. Of course you dispute the results. Even when I lose, I'll dispute the results. Even just now when Arsenal just narrowly beat Newcastle today in their home ground. They disputed the result, but it was a clear victory. But it was shock. They disputed that. Some of them are still fighting in the street for that. It happens. It's just human nature. But when you dispute results, there are levels of redress in Sierra Leone. And for particularly presidential results, an election-related result, presidential election, you are told that you have 7 days to go to the Supreme Court and take your case with your evidence. They didn't go.
They said they didn't believe in the judiciary.
They didn't believe in the judiciary.
They said it's corrupt.
So why do you want to be head of that situation, that country, when you don't believe in the system? It was that same judiciary which ruled during the time that we were in power, that ruled against Sam Sumana being vice president of Sierra Leone. It's the same judiciary, we clapped for it. So it means there's something wrong. That is why the TRC says you must have reform. And that's what I wanted to talk about. You haven't come to that. But when you do, I will tell you that that has started. The reform of the justice system has started. The criminal justice reform has started. The CPA 2024 has just come into force. It's a demonstrable milestone. It's modernizing criminal procedure. It's shortening delays. It's giving clearer rules, rights and protections. This step by step, we're doing that. So we have done most of the infrastructure we want to do. We are covering the energy and all that. Now we are looking at the institutions, and that is what the TRC says, to maintain sustainable peace. Put institutions in place that will guarantee democracy, that will guarantee the rule of law and justice, and that will guarantee human rights. That's what we are doing.
Many have said our institutions are very weak.
Alfonso is here, he can confirm to you that the Commission for Human Rights in Sierra Leone is graded A. Grade A in the country, in the world. It's a grade A. He knows that. So we are doing well. We cannot do everything at the same time. There must be flickers here and there. Some of it you look at it, well, look, let's find a way to resolve it. You don't take it and make it an issue. And say that the country is not peaceful because we are not producing enough rice and all that. How many acres did you do this year?
I didn't say so.
No, how many acres did you do this year?
No empty stomach can stand.
Well, fine.
I'll have my bite.
How do you feel empty stomach?
I'll have my bite.
You work.
I'll have my
the
bite.
birds wake up in the morning, my friend. They go out in the field to look for food and come back and bring for the children, the young birds. Come on, man. Let's take examples from that. Even the chicken you have in the house, when you open the coop in the morning, they go out foraging. The goats go out foraging. Everything, a living thing looks for food. The government leads you to show you how you can do it in a much more facilitated way. But if you don't take it, they say you can take a horse to the river. You can force it to drink. Thank you.
Doctor, while you've eulogized, or praised, if you like, the feed salon agenda to, be succeeding, if you like, a lot of people will tell you that a plate of rice now is sold at 30, even 35 leones in most places. A common man can wake up in the morning, I will not be able to purchase that. It's difficult to eat these days.
Where you go. There at State House.
At State House?
At State House where we work. From my office, my security people go to a cookie shop just by the market there. They pay 15,000 a plate. And they're outside, they can confirm that to you. So it depends on where you go. It depends on what you want to eat. You can decide today that you don't want to eat rice and plasas. Go to chapter 1. You will pay 500,000 leones for a plate of rice, isn't it? That is what they're charging. It's what you choose to do. Go to law. LOR. If you want to go there, you can say feed and eat, but by the time you leave, you may be 3 or 4 million short. Because you can afford it. It's a matter of choice. The food day for that one for it's the type of food we be. Me own security. Then in a State House with me. Right there behind, they always come, hey, bro, don't go into 15,000. Then I buy water, I buy this, I buy that. So 20,000 is enough for them.
That 15 leones, do they have fish in the super store?
How do I know?
I'm just asking.
It depends.
It comes with a package.
Fish is not the food. It's part of the food.
It's a vital part of the food.
I can choose not to eat fish.
But it's a vital part of the food.
I can choose not to eat fish.
Don't you like protein?
There are people who are vegetarians. They don't eat fish. They don't
Doctor, how many vegetarians do we have in Sierra Leone?
There are people who are vegetarians. They don't eat
how many vegetarians do we have in Sierra Leone?
No, they don't have. I'm telling you. You want food. You pay for the food that you can afford. And you eat it. If I want to eat fish, maybe fish daily. But if I want to eat kuta, I'm sure I get for pay 25,000 loan for it. It depends what you want.
Alpha. Yes. It's very interesting. And I always call him me Pakumane. With all due respect to him, Honorable Alpha Khan has been a spokesman for 2 governments. So for any
effectively too.
Yeah, effectively too. And I got, of course, I remember when you said during the APC we had the fastest growing economy.
At that time. Because I was Minister of Mines and I was producing
very good.
the money for that.
So for so many shifting positions that sometimes it is hard to know whether he's speaking for the people or for the government. For all I can see here, I know he's speaking for the government, not for the people. For every time the government is concerned, they will send Honorable Alpha Khan to polish the message. And so but you cannot paint cracked walls. Let me come to agriculture. You know, what I want to make very clear here to him, that the feed salon is just a new slogan. But when it comes to food sufficiency or agriculture sector, that is one of the most disappointing sector. You check the audit report, you know, millions of leons got missing. There is no reality on the ground. Now, if we have food sufficiency, it's not as a result of what we produce. Go now to the stores, the rice producers. You go to CTC, you go to many other importers, they have enough in store. And because they have enough in store, I had them the last time at Liberty, when he said, you know, you had an engagement with the rice producers. You know, you dialogue for one reason, to see that they find ways to, you know, to cut down the price. But it's not as a result of that negotiation, because you cannot keep people for 7 years complete. A price of from 200 leones to the maximum by then. You know that it was in covenants. 200 leones by then, and by 2023, a bag of rice is almost 1,000. So that tells you the government has been very unfair with the citizens. They would have put things in place before this time. It is not now when the importers have seen it, seen the reality of the world market price, and now they can now import enough rice. You know, there are many of them importing rice, and then they adjust the price because they know there is no way they can sell a bag of rice at 900 or 950 anymore. So the score doesn't go, they should not take credit. Now let me go to Tumabom. Of course, you talk about the FSRP. Tumabom, check the records. Since 2018 to date, millions of dollars got missing. There are no tangible results at Tumabom. It's a shame as a country. For any time we read speeches convincing donors that we are making progress by merely going to the market, buying pineapple, buying corns, another or maize, whatever, you put it on the table, then you celebrate that we've made progress. How many farmers have received fertilizers? Do the research. If the local farmers can receive seeds on time, they receive the tools on time, they can produce more. But the poor farmer can have over 20, 25 acres of cassava. And with just any other government project, they can put signposts with just 1 acre, they celebrate it. There are so many wastages in that area. So we cannot say we've made progress in agriculture. We are still, it's an image of Pusawa. It's fading on Pusawa, not Barabara rice. We grow. You hardly, honorable, you hardly see it.
I grow rice.
You grow rice,
So
but you eat Pusawa.
No.
Because if you grow enough rice, you should have kept enough for you. That's what my father did. When my father was growing enough, he saved for even the rainy season, and he will reserve more for the next planting season. So, you know, we have to debate the speech of the president. We cannot continue to deceive. Citizens at the market there can tell the story. He cannot tell it because he's here to speak on behalf of the government.
Facts are skewed.
No. You cannot spin hunger. You cannot spin hunger. You cannot spin injustice. You cannot spin many of the issues that affect citizens in this country. What we want to say, if we can discuss the way forward, it should be here saying that, yes, we want to make progress in agriculture because we failed for so many years. He cannot say that he has failed. But there are so many gaps in the agricultural sector. Go to any district, let them show you the farms. In fact, they introduced the youth farms years ago to have employed a minimum 500 to 600 youth per chiefdom. At least 1,000. I stand to be corrected. You know what happened? They contracted one of somebody within the agriculture sector called Haidara Sheriff. At the end of the day, the youth farm failed. No results. Let us have a data when they launched the youth farms by then. How many rice was harvested? Let us get from the spokesman also. For the last planting season, both private and public sector, how many packs of rice, how many tons of rice we harvested? You know, let's speak the realities instead of just painting it in figures and saying this is what we've achieved. Then let me end by saying that, of course, It's my Pakomane. Go ahead, Mr. Alfonso. I reserve for the other bits.
You know, I really like when these two political parties are deliberating.
You enjoy it.
You know, yeah, you know, it tells you when they talk. If you really try to digest the discussion, we know whether they are talking for generations yet unborn, or they are just talking for yesterday and today. And I'm happy Big Brother mentioned that peace is an action word. And if peace is an action word, we need to translate that word, that action word. And I believe peace should not be seen as a noun, just a name. If we take the GPI, the Global Peace Index, if we really want to be honest with ourselves in Sierra Leone, we will say the Global Peace Index is something like superficial, because nobody will think about war in Sierra Leone for now. Nobody. It was way back since when Big Brother was referring to 25 or 31 years ago. I would say let's start 48 years ago, 1977, when we had the student strike, no school, no work. Those are the time you start to look at conflict in this country, where almost the government was paralyzed. But if you try to look at what is going on, forgetting about the number of arms, people don't want to know how many arms government of Sierra Leone buys, or how many arms they import or export. What the people want to know is that for youths, when they are out of college, there's a job market. That makes peace for youths. That is what they want to know. For women, they have a say in their homes. They have a say about their body. They have a say as to how many children they can born. Not to be subjected to men who even don't carry the weight of pregnancy. That is the peace we are talking about. It should not be a noun. It's a verb, as he said it. An action word that people should feel. I can remember some time ago, Attila will not see, but he will always say, he see the enjoyment, but he could not see, which means he believes that people are enjoying. And so,
he felt it.
Yeah, he felt it, yes, he did. So I think we should be looking at the word peace from that angle, that even somebody could not see, but person will now feel that there is peace, because that person can get a feel of the word itself, either by purchasing of goods and services, moving from point A to point B. There are some parts of the country now you go there's no way you can even transport goods and services. You know, when we take the global index, peace index, I will always say it is good for us as a nation, because even within the MRU, we are the first. For West Africa, we are the second. For Africa, we are the fifth. For the world, 57. You will say it's good. But if you want to be honest, thinking about generational thinkers, how do we manage people's perception or people's interpretation of the word peace? If governments, successive governments, start to analyze that for future generation, then we will now start to look at, even they will tell you by next year, statistics will come with a data to say this year or by 2020, let's say this is 2025, by 2030, we will have like 30,000 graduates. Out of these 30,000 graduates, government will employ 5 or 10,000 or 15,000. The private sector will employ. That is generational thinking and planning. We don't have. Students spend 5, 4, 5, 7 years to gain education. They spend 30 years to get job. Is that peace? No. We cannot use the GPI as an indicator to determine our internal dynamics of the word peace. But we can use it as a benchmark to showcase the country at the global level. I will buy that idea. But to say people are, they're enjoying peace, that's a relative term. And I think we need to do more. If you go to some area, and that's why sometimes I always respect the Kenyan system of governance. Even when the country was introducing draconian taxations or tax policy or whatsoever, everybody stood up. In Sierra Leone, you will see people standing up only if you are not a member of that party. Even those that are members of the party, even when they are suffering, they will never say anything. They will say, hey, half of do now a party, let us forget about it. And I think that is where we are coming from. Today, Big Brother is telling us that message. My brother out there is on the opposition side. He will not say the same message. If the baton changes, we now have probably APC in governance. My big brother that is seated here, we will now trumpet in what Brother Alpha is suggesting.
As it was and it is to come.
Yes. And this is the baton they have placed. They have put in the hands of people of this country. So we need to change that trajectory so that we look at, let us have generational thinkers in the parliament, in the executive, and in the judiciary. But as of now, we think about yesterday and today, not tomorrow and the future.
On that note, Alphonsus, taking a scale from 0 to 5, if you like, how much would you say this government has done, or the retired Brigadier Dr. Bio has done really to preserve and improve peace in Sierra Leone? By your estimation?
By my own estimation, I will give him 50, okay, an average. And I'm saying that because as somebody from, and I will give you the perspective. Okay. He's a military person, and he has fought war, and he has suffered the impact of war, and he knows what war means. So he should know as to how he managed the governance system of his country. The second angle I'm coming from, he has been a head of state. He is not new in the leadership of this country. He has served under the military. He has now served as a civilian, and not only once, but twice. This is his second term. So he should have the idea of transforming this country to a better path. And so that's why I said I will not give him above 50. I will give him 50 because he has not completed the 3 key things he campaigned and he vowed to rule upon, which is he's going to fight lawlessness, indiscipline, and corruption. He's yet to show that to me. Then I will give him above 50.
He has failed to do these things.
Probably he still have he's still in his office until he leaves office. Then I will say he failed. But as of now, there is possibility that he can change.
Dr. Kanu, do you think 50 is a fair percentage?
He just said that. The man's still working.
Yeah.
Hasn't finished. Judge him when he finishes.
Exactly.
Thank you very much. Now let me just answer my young man here. He seems to be missing the point. When you want to do comparison, you compare like with like. You talk about the rice being at 300 leones in 2018.
No, 200.
It was 300.
The highest, according to President Bio.
I was a minister in 2018 when we left.
According to President Bio.
The rice was 300.
President Bio said during his debate that a bag of rice is 200, and that was the highest cost my day.
President Bio
during his debate, you remember?
Say that.
He said that.
President Bio said 300.
No, he said 200.
I was a minister in that government.
No.
I wasn't.
No, you forgot.
I wasn't.
President Bio said.
Wasn't a minister.
President Bio said
Alpha,
the price of a bag of rice was 200, honorable.
All right, Alpha, please.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good. Just
300 leones. President Bio took the rice part. We inherited it in 2007 at 60 leones. 60 leones over 10 years. It's 5 times increase. 5 times. President Bio took it up at 300, and I insist. It is at the moment at 640, only 1.5 times in 7 years. So you can see which one has the highest rate of acceleration. we did when I was in that government. He has slowed it down. And he talked about us calling the rice importers to dialogue with them. We asked them, how much does this rice cost you to come? They say so. So why are you selling it at this price? That's just logic. Be fair. Don't profiteer. Make a profit, but don't profiteer. And then he talked about them having huge amounts of rice in their stores. Doesn't mean that the global price of rice went down overnight. No, it did not. They had it. They were just hoarding it so they can raise the price. But when they know now that local production last year increased by over 18%, and even the WFP, which used to buy from them for the school feeding, has reduced their buying by 40%. They are now buying local rice. 40% of their rice is from the local production rice. So I just want to make sure that he understands that. Now, there's also the issue of a mistaken identity here. We came here to discuss peace. These people are taking the peace discussion to development discussion. Peace is the foundation on which you develop. When we have a peaceful atmosphere, we can go to the market to share. We can go to the farm to work. We can go to the office to work. We can earn money and feed our families. So they're confusing development and peace. What the GPI did, and these are experts who set this up, they know what they want to measure. Alfonso has told us. It's 23 indicators divided into 3 sectors of social security: internal and external aggression, and militarization. In all of those, Sierra Leone passes. So let us say, and they have agreed today, that we have peace in Sierra Leone. We have agreed. What they're talking about is that we are short in food security. But we have not folded our hands. President Bill came with the Feed Salon project. He has put a lot of things out there. He went to Vienna. He got what you call a pledge of $800 million. About half of that will go into agriculture. I know that $120 million of that dollars has already come for livestock and small ruminants.
Livestock?
Livestock, cows, cattle, livestock farming, cattle rearing, and chicken and poultry. That has come.
Which villages are they investing this money?
They have not invested in villages. It is with the government now. They are trying to get the farmers to come and apply for that. Okay. So they will now give them loans to go and establish this. In fact, we went to McKinney about 3 weeks ago with the Ministry of Information and Civic Education, on the civic education. And there, the Minister of Agriculture was bold enough to challenge them in McKinney and congratulate them that McKinney produces more rice, more eggs today because of the support from agriculture than even Freetown. And that you can buy a carton of eggs at 800 leones in McKinney, when in Freetown is 1,200. So that's the difference. So it's making an impact, but it will take time. It will not happen overnight. First of all, not many Sierra Leoneans want to go into agriculture. They still see it as a menial job. It is not. It is one of the best professions you can go into, farming. I am in farming too. My son is not here.
I'm farming too.
Well, if you farm, then you know that we are producing more rice today than we used to.
I know.
Thank you. We're producing more rice than we used to. So let us move this thing. We have come here to talk about peace. If we want to talk about development, let's say, but let us not interchange peace and development. They are not the same. Peace is a foundation upon which you can develop. The development is not. What they talk about here, rice cultivation, and all that, that is not conflict. Farming is not conflict. Working is not conflict. Working is a development paradigm. Peace is different. Peace is conflict. Peace is noise. Peace is wild demonstrations. Peace is external aggression and all that kind of thing. That is what we are doing now today. They have agreed 50% is a lot for a president. Thank you very much, Alfonso. You've done well.
Yes.
50% is a lot.
You know, the reason why I paused during the last round, let me wait for the, you know, I want this challenge, a public challenge, to come out with evidence that His Excellency the President, during his debate, he challenged citizens to vote him in, that the price of a bag of rice is now 200 leones, that it was left 60 leones. So I do not understand where the spokesman is coming from, saying that he was in the last government.
I'm coming from the cabinet of the last government.
Okay, and then comparatively, let me give you the comparative analysis from 600, from 60 leones in 2007 to 200 in 2018. So the gap there is 140. In 10 years, the price increase. From 200 leones in 2018 to almost 1 million. That's the wholesale cost. Because people bought rice up to 1,100 in the villages because of the poor road networks or whatever you may say. So the gap there, let's say, is 800 in 7 years. 800. Compare the margin. This is a period where we experience the exchange rates is a skyrocket from one month to the other. So if the spokesman is saying at this point in time, he's claiming credit that they've stabilized prices, it's not as if the gap we have in record is 800 versus that of 140 in 10 years. Now, at this point in time, our citizens are no longer called terrorists. He knows the president called citizen terrorist, first in the history. And now, I want to also clarify to him his definition towards peace.
I wouldn't even bring that here.
Yes,
No,
the
really.
definition,
That is a sore point.
Yes, the definition, no.
That's a sore
He
point.
doesn't
You must
understand the
not bring
definition
that.
of peace.
No, you must not bring that here.
Peace.
At all. Don't
Now,
bring it here. It is a shame that you should bring that here. Don't bring it.
Sustainable
Please.
peace, sustainable
Let's
peace
slip in those
is not
gaps.
just the absence of war, right? It requires fairness, accountability, and justice. That is peace. So now we have electoral reforms. You've started sensing, if not you, I and many of us have started sensing delaying electoral reforms, which is dangerous for us to gamble. Yeah, and then we also have what we call economic injustice. And when we talk about economic injustice and social neglect, especially in youth unemployment rate, this is why you see that young people are going to drugs. And the government doesn't care about the young people.
How many young people were employed?
So many people
How
have
many
died.
people were employed in your time, man?
So many
Tell me,
people
and you
have
reverse
died
that.
in our
Has Mada been
time. Because
reversed that?
despite you are not with us any longer,
No.
but you can still say in our time, before.
you know,
Yeah?
no.
And so,
It was the same thing, man.
yes,
It's
and the
better now.
other area again,
Better now.
you know, this drug crisis is very serious. Is a spokesman. It's very serious.
Was the APC able to fix job unemployment for you?
That's what he's saying.
Youth unemployment?
Yeah, let me give the answer.
He wasn't there. He was studying in Germany.
No, I was not studying.
In Germany.
I was studying you.
I was there.
I can remember still what you said, that youth unemployment at that time, the President Nkrumah has made a lot of strides in job youth unemployment.
What I said is that he said, let me just. What I said is that he said he would die for the youth.
No, he said he would die for the youth.
Did he die?
And I still have videos I can tender to the public wherein you analyze the achievements of President Nkrumah.
Of course.
And so today, if you are
And
here in an other room,
No,
I can still understand.
Listen,
So give me chance, Mr. Spokesman, to end. The other area again. Let me come. No.
Don't play the victim, man.
So I want to also look at the area of professional security sector.
Are you guiding this debate?
No, I'm not guiding the debate.
You're a participant.
No, but I'm giving.
He's guiding it.
No. My point here is, he gave you time. He gave you time, and I'm supposed to have time.
It's because you've lost the debate.
This is the time. So far, what I want to say, his interpretation towards peace is completely different. It's not about war. We are not talking about war. We are talking about many other issues that should keep the nations together. And this is what we're looking forward to. Sierra Leone, we should live in harmony. Remember, he knows during his time when he was a minister, we saw what we call inclusive governance. Fair distribution of national resources.
Really?
Really?
Of course.
You say the APC?
Of course, during the APC.
I was there.
You know what we did?
In what ways did the APC distribute resources?
Inclusive. If I can share with you records of numbers of people who are employed by President Nkrumah.
There are people who feel these two parties have failed us, actually.
No, but of course you have an opinion. But for the citizens now have the right to compare between the two of us.
Good.
APC and SLP.
Give the list.
So
give the list.
I will give the list.
Now.
I will give you.
Now.
I will give you now.
At least you're not a politician.
I'm not a politician. That's
please,
why
I will give you now.
I just keep smiling.
I will read it.
There's this common, how do you call it? This common parlance in our local language. I'll say it in Creole. You say, "Ogidi laugh keda for smell." You know, APC and SLP.
But they're one on the same page.
You know, but you know, the issue of drugs, you know, is coming in even from the discussion.
It's the elephant in the room.
Yes, but I think these two political parties, they owe an apology and they owe a statement to the people of this country. I could recall a time when the cocaine incident started in Lungi. We were on air, UN radio, at that time, and we were stopped that there is a breaking news that the government have seized an aircraft carrying cocaine. After that program, I personally went out. And that time, when they announced, the police announced, the cocaine worth $60,000 at the time. A week later, because it was on the weekly, every weekend, we got the information, and I went on air and said, the cocaine worth $300,000. The following day, which was on the Monday, Acha said, by then he was the IG, said the cocaine worth $200,000. So people were now asking us, who is saying the truth? We are not talking about truth. We are just presenting information to the public. The public has to judge who says the truth or not. It is not we as members. But, you know, we have seen these two parties, this APC and SLP, in their own tenures, the issue of drugs keep coming in. Is it that they have something they are hiding that they cannot tell the people of this country, that high-profile people in governance are benefiting from drug issues that they cannot tell these people of this country? APC time, there is drug. SLP, there is still drug. And this involves high-placed people who bought the flights at the time during the APC. Or a senior member of the party bought the flight, the aircraft. We don't know what went wrong. So I'm appealing for us to save the youth, our future generation. That's what I keep saying. Let us think tomorrow. Let us stop thinking about yesterday and today. If we start to think about tomorrow, these two political parties will find a way to address the issue of drugs in this country. If I have the opportunity, we will hold the leadership of these two political parties accountable for drug issues in this country. They are responsible for drugs. The menace we are having within the youth on this issue of drugs, these two political parties are responsible. In all of their political party houses, they have youth taking drugs and they are giving them drugs in their political party offices. They know, they gave it to them, they bought it for them, they share it for them. So they should be held accountable. They are destroying the future of this country, and yet they don't address the root cause of the drugs. They are addressing the issue that the people that are taking it. You don't go and arrest the drug laws. The people that are bringing the drugs, selling it to the youth that are taking it, you go and arrest the youth that is taking the consumer. You don't talk about the producer. The consumers are languishing in prisons. They are not the producers. They are not the authors, the originators of these drugs. These are high-profile people. Yet they remain silent, blaming the youth, forgetting that they have a responsibility. APC and SLP, they have failed this country. And I will say that without reservation. 65, from 1991 to date, if you are a man that you cannot even give your people, your children 24 hours uninterrupted light, that's a failure. You cannot make your children to have a balanced diet in your home, it's a failure. You cannot afford to ensure, in fact, you make a balance as to whether they can go to school, or you prioritize health, or you prioritize road, it's a failure. If you are a human, if this country was just a person, it's a failure. So these two political parties, I have due respect with all other political parties. That doesn't mean I'm disrespecting them. But the governance of this system is APC and SLPP. They have caused the havoc we are now suffering. Both of them, the issue of drugs that they keep talking about, they are responsible for drug abuse among the youth. They gave them drugs. They used them to go out on the rampage. I was discussing with somebody a few days ago, talking about how we should address the issue of politics in this country. And somebody just said, we wait. There will come a time that we will just tell everybody to go out on the streets. And when they tell youth people to go out on the streets, you don't see their children. It is other people here, the poor people that are going out on the streets. They will suffer the brunt of the police. So now they set the police against the people. Now people will now see the police as an enemy. But it is these two political parties that are making police be looked at as enemies, because police are now becoming more of regime policing than democratic policing. We now have SLPP. Previously, Lahel Lawrence Lima has all the type of adjective that he can give to the police when they were in opposition. The APC, they have all the goodies, the best thing that the police force are doing good things. When the baton changes, the same APC is now crying down the Sierra Leone police. The SLPP that we are condemning the Sierra Leone police, they are now praising that we have a very good force in this country. What are they hiding? What are they not telling the people of this country? So they are setting the people of this country with the security sector, particularly with the police. They are abusing an institution that is there to protect both citizens and the state, but they are using them against the citizens. It's unfair, and we should hold them accountable. There should be a time people should think, let us stop of being political slaves. Because we are now slaves. We don't tell APC and SLPP the truth because we belong to the party. It is not a court. This is about the future generation. This is about the future of this country. It's high time the leadership, even the elders, my big brother here, they have to change the tone, they have to change the dynamics, they have to change party politics approach. To see each other, they have to look, APC have to look at SLPP as a brother, as a member of this country. SLPP has to look somebody in APC that we are partners, not as enemies. And it's that same thing that they are translating down to the group. I'm from two ruling houses. I'm both from the north and from the south. From the north, the Munu family. My mother is a Timinifula. From the Munu family. My father is a Bamende. Is a Mende from the Bani. From the south, and a chieftaincy house. So just imagine, you now tell somebody, this person hates you. But when you look at the leadership, President the lady he got married to, it's not a Mende. Her Excellency, it's not a Mende. Samuel Kamara, check his wife. Dr. Anesbai Kuma, former president, check his wife. Check the leadership of all these political parties. They don't marry their child people. But yet they preach about tribalism because they don't have anything to offer to the people of this country. They are misleading the youth. So somebody is there. In fact, they are now creating a situation that even in schools, they have banned red, green. They are now using other colors. Why? Because these two political parties, they failed to realize that these colors existed before their own political party came to be. Red had been even before Christ. But now people are saying the moment you put on red without the APC logo, they said you are APC. The moment you put on green without the SLPP logo, you are SLPP. That is the way how they have placed us in this country. That is unfair. They need to change the dynamics so that we all enjoy in this country. Whether you are not in governance, if you are in opposition, you should be enjoying. That will not make you, that should not create any problem.
Dr. Kalu, you are being indicted here this evening. I mean, Alfonso is saying that you are the architects of this drug abuse in Sierra Leone.
I want to clap for Alfonso. Now Alfonso is coming back. In Timni, we call it Interest. Don't go round. You don't come back, you can't tell him. In the house. This is what President Bio is saying. Let us have a government of national unity. Let us work together. We are brothers. He has just mentioned all of the things that should tie us together.
Sorry.
President Bio's wife is not Mende. And Escoroma's wife is not Mende. Samura Kamara's wife, a Timni man, is Mende. Kafala Mara, his wife is from Tayama. Late President Joseph Pladu Momo, his wife was from Mayamba. We live together. Ella Koblo was married to Chief Koblo in Lonsar. They have 5 children. They're still there. They live. Obay Kabia is there. He can be a chief in Lonsar. He can be a chief in Moyamba. Soko Kabia is there. He can be a chief in Lonsar. So, you see, this is what the president has seen. He said, let us have this PR. The PR has been good. We are now on a PR in Parliament. They are not fighting. In Parliament, they collaborate. So President says the difficulty is in the sharing. One party takes all. Samura Kamara gets 48% of the vote. Bio gets 52%. Bio takes everything, 100%. Of the executive positions, of the police, of the judges, everything, not so? Thank you, Alfonso. That's what I have been saying. That's what President said, and I, as his advocate, I have been taking that around. It is not new in the world. It's happening everywhere. Austria in 1959, after the war. They came with the proposal, proportional representation. Up till today, all the parties share power, executive power. Switzerland, they have 7 executive members who sit in the presidency. They are all from different parties and different regions and different tribes in Switzerland. And it is the most stable country in the world. Northern Ireland, they were killing people. Excuse me.
It's okay. Sorry. I mean, why is she painting all these?
Let me come, please. This man has made something really every Sierra Leone should be talking.
But the crux of his argument was that you failed in solving this drug abuse.
What he's saying is that we are not working together. We want to blame each other.
Particularly for drug abuse. He said it's your people.
I agree what he's saying, that we are not collaborating.
It's your people who are selling these drugs.
Which people? Tell me. If you know
people
them,
at the higher echelon. That's what he's saying.
You know, that is what we need. If you know them, please go to the police and let them be known. I'm afraid. We need to know them. They are doing it in hiding. We don't know. If you know those who bring it in, those who distribute it, please. That is why the task force is there. The police, there are only 12,000 policemen and women in Sierra Leone. 24,000 eyes for 8 million people. 16 million eyes. If we just take 1 million of those to help the police, they will help us. We need to work with the police. The government alone cannot. How many people does the government employ? Government employs not more than 30,000 people, up and down, for 8 million. Every time we say government, yes, government wants to do. But they say, the turkey one box, the hand short. If you really know those people, believe me, yes, we must denounce them.
What do you think the solution is?
Sorry? The solution is, first of all, we start by...
You're saying that the police force is starting insufficient to solve this.
They may know it. If he knows it, he's in the opposition. He wants to get into Madabio's position. He wants to be president. He could push the negative.
I want to be a spokesman too.
No, let me say, okay, when you spoke, you want to be spokesman. He could push the negative side. So Madabio loses it, or his party loses the election next time. Or if I am on the other side, I want to be president. And Alfonso is there now as president. I will defend the ways the way they call. But if we are working together, we sit at the same table and decide. Instead of just being decided upon, we decide for ourselves together. Let us work like that. Switzerland.
Doesn't stop the fact that drug is still killing the youth.
The drug is killing the youth. I'm telling you.
Their
how
wounds
we
are
can
festering.
They're
under the bridges in Sierra Leone.
If we collaborate, if everybody...
A lot of people have also argued, Doctor, that this is linked to job unemployment, as we were saying. The World Bank in 2024 said that almost 60% of our youth are unemployed. In your New Direction manifesto, the President said over 100,000 jobs he will provide.
5.
How much has he provided?
500,000 by the time he leaves. And
by the time he leaves?
Yes. Let me tell you.
How much has he provided?
Yes.
It remains 3 years. It's now 6 years into his office.
We need to understand that the state of employment in countries like us, developing countries, and state of employment in England, for instance, are different. England is an industrialized country.
You're talking about Sierra Leone, Doctor.
We are not. Are we industrialized?
No, well, we're talking about Sierra Leone.
Well, no, please, let me do comparison, because that's what you are using. If you want to talk about unemployment...
I didn't compare us to other countries.
No, but hold on. We are not industrialized. And when we talk about employment...
We don't even have the electricity to be industrialized.
Sorry?
Yeah, we don't even have the electricity to be industrialized.
That is it. So that is the problem we have. So we are trying to put the infrastructure in place to make sure that those places where we can produce enabling environments like energy, to ensure that businesses can start less expensively, not by running generators or things like that to put them out of business. And by that way they make more profit and employ more people. We're doing that. But then, what do we have in Sierra Leone to sell? The only thing we're bluffing about is that we have natural resources. We don't process these natural resources. We are producers of raw materials, which are taken to China or to the US.
Which is also a problem.
It is a problem because we are exporting the jobs to China.
Indeed.
We are exporting the jobs to England because we don't have
the electricity.
Not only the electricity, the funding, the financing. So what we have to do is to shift our development paradigm from being producer nations here in Africa. I don't know if you listened to President William Ruto when he was speaking.
At the UN, yes.
That is the approach we must have. Try and industrialize, even if it's just processing the aluminum, that is the bauxite here, the rutile here, and the iron ore here. Like we're now trying to reprocess the scrap metal in country, which we used to send away, to be reprocessed and sent back to the country. In Songo, we have factories that are doing that. They employ people now. So if we have more of those things happening, we can talk about employment figures. But here, it is the exception to be employed. The exception.
In the meantime, can you solve the Kush problem?
The exception. You asked me about employment. I'm talking about job to Kush.
Oh, it's all linked. I'm just asking. Okay.
The employment here, employment is an exception. How? To be unemployed is the norm.
Who sets the norm?
I am saying that. I am saying that because more people are unemployed than are employed. So it means the majority are.
So you're saying being unemployed in Sierra Leone is a normalcy?
It's normalcy because everybody is unemployed. We don't have the jobs. Let us create the jobs. I'll give you an example. You talked about students staying out of university, spend 5 years to study, and 30 years to find jobs. Job. Let me tell you the story of Mohammed Sharif and Sheikh Bao and Samuel Kamara. These are mining engineers from Frobe College. They were employed by Sierra Leone. They were laid off. You know what they did? They put their savings together, got themselves a rutile mining license. They opened their own rutile mining license. They employ over 1,000 people now. There at Moyamba. 3 young people. So if the entrepreneurship which the president has been preaching about, we bring that, we will make sure, we will be sure that there will be more people being job creators. to employ their unemployed friends and colleagues. But we don't have enough people going to entrepreneurship. Those young people, if they didn't have the initiative to say, let us do it ourselves like Sierra Leone is doing. And let me just tell you a metric. In 2022, the Ministry of Mines confirmed that this young people's mine, they're called Leone Minerals, they paid more into the NRA than even Sierra Leone. They paid more revenue to government than even Sierra Leone. 3 young people, one from McKinney, one from Kenema, and one from Boo. They're together. They're engineers. The other one is the geologist. They're mining right now, and they're exporting bauxite, rutile, just like Sierra Leone is doing. They don't have access to the seaport. They put it in containers and send it through the ports. It's expensive for them, but they still make money. They employ people, and they pay their salaries. So they have 1,000 people. That's the direct employees. And then they have the other people who are outliers, who gather the rutile for them and bring it. They buy from them. Then the drivers, then the truck rentals, and all that kind of thing. So it spreads. It's a cascading effect. Really, what we should do is to work together. We cannot bring our ideas together, but not sit there. You see the problem. You know what you can do. Say, I'm not telling you that. When I do that, I will do it. It will be too late, man.
Okay, go back to the Kush stuff. Doctor, briefly before I leave you. The government said they were building 2 facilities in Bo, rehabs. But I get from good authority that they're borrowing the space from the barracks. But there's no rehab facility in Bo at the moment.
Are they functioning?
They're using the barracks.
Are they functioning?
Yeah.
That is what matters. Building takes time. But the Kush problem is imminent. It's urgent. It's immediate.
It is.
So if you have to rent someplace at the barracks, rent it and put the rehab there. The rehab at Hastings is working. The rehab in other places is working. I think the Honorable Abdullah Ibrahim Bundu, former leader in Parliament of the APC, he has a rehab in Protocol.
Is it that this government has lost ideas of solving this?
Has lost no ideas. It's just that the problems are coming, cascading, and we must find ways to solve.
So in essence, you're saying you are inundated with the problems.
No, we're not inundated. No, we're not inundated. It's just that we are finding solutions for problems, like everybody used to find solutions for problems.
Alpha, briefly, if I come to Alfonso.
Yes. You want
to respond to what?
Yes, I want to respond on the drug for both of them.
Okay.
You know, young people are begging the government every day. You watching the videos, asking the government to help them fight this Kush. We have the Drug Law Enforcement Agency. You compare what on recent times, I saw what you posting. What Liberia, the Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Liberia is doing. But the Drug Law Enforcement Agency... They've
been arrested in Sierra Leone recently.
Exactly, and they are coming. They are coming from our country. The agency there is under resource. There was a time when he faced us in Parliament, the director said he don't even have a bicycle. So how serious is the government? Now, government is spending millions of dollars. Whether traveling, of course, is defended the reason why the president is traveling, whatever. But we've spent millions of dollars. Now, there is a widespread of drug in the last 7 years. Every time you pass along the street, you must see dead bodies. Yes, there are dead bodies. They are all over the streets. From Bo, Kenema, Kono, Waterloo, Freetown, you see dead bodies everywhere. This is true. We bring... Listen.
Just to contextualize, while dead bodies may not be everywhere, but there are particular places where you would see...
Now, true, are they talking I say? Make I talk this now Creole for Salon people.
I understand. I'm just guiding the conversation.
Yes.
Dead bodies are not on every street.
What I'm saying here...
That perhaps...
of course. Well, okay, good. I don't want to exaggerate it. You're watching videos. Most young people, some of them are in the slums. Some of them find themselves at certain areas, and you see videos where young people are dying of course. Let's face the realities.
The city council has also recently raised concern about the bodies.
Of course, there is not even a special body we don't even know who is responsible to take care of those bodies. For
they die on the streets. The government.
Of course, but you hardly see them except you see a social media outcry. But what I want to learn here to say, yes, I want to finish up. What I want to finish up. What I want to say here. Honorable Dr. Alpha Khan is saying let's work together. It is us, the opposition in Parliament, Honorable AKK, who stood in the well and drew the attention of government to see that it takes stance on the country. 7 years down the line, it's a complete negligence of the youthful population of this country. We are at the arrests. We have not seen arrest. We've seen young people who have taken this coach being taken to prisons, and then they leave those who are manufacturing the drugs. So that's unfair.
On the issue of drugs, and probably
help you.
What he has said in terms of push people dying.
I will show you, sir.
I just want us to reflect that in as much the Kush has now become a threat, and I guess the president has made some strides to declare this issue as an emergency. Let's also be mindful of the use of social media, specifically when we have artificial intelligence that they can do anything. I'm not crying down any other thing, but let us be mindful because of the political toxic atmosphere we will find ourselves in this country. People can do anything to create some challenges. But what I also wanted to bring, we are discussing on the issue of lights. I don't want to make reference. You also brought it. The Akosombo Dam in Ghana started in 1965. Ghana, they are still enjoying Akosombo Dam. The Bumbuna Dam started sometime back in 1979. To date, Bumbuna still is struggling. What I've realized, it seems as if APC and the SLPP, they are really involved in what we can refer to as joint criminal enterprise in this country. Bumbuna, Bumbuna has an infrastructural problem that these two political parties are fully aware of, but they refuse to address it because of personal other issues. And so to me...
And what is that?
I don't know.
What is it?
No, go and check. Go and check Bumbuna. Bumbuna has an infrastructural challenge.
Tell us.
I will not say it. If the APC and SLPP are sincere, let them bring experts.
It has a limitation.
and challenge what I have said.
And for now, it's pumping 45 megawatts.
And challenge what I have said.
Designed for 50 megawatts.
Bumbuna has an infrastructural challenge that the government, the two successive governments,
they've just
both APC and SLPP,
coming to the country for electricity. I just hope perhaps all these things will be fixed.
Let us hope so. But what I'm telling you, the challenges for Bumbuna. But since 1979, we cannot enjoy Bumbuna with all the challenges, my brother. Something is missing and something is wrong. They need to say something. Just as we had the incident in Kodu Holdings, when the government refused to say something. They know what is exactly going on and how to relate themselves with
something. The Minister of Labour went there.
You're still watching Arabian Sunday, live on the Africa Young Voices. And my name is Victor Jones. It's a heated panel tonight, and we're discussing the state of peace in Sierra Leone. I know most of you have been sending your comments and your suggestions on our Facebook page. It's now time to welcome the chief producer, Emmanuel Nyakimamo, to read out some of them. Good evening, Emmanuel, and welcome.
Good evening, Victor Jones. It's also very hard-hitting here by the social media, our Facebook page, and of course in the inbox. Bashiru Lockinson Mustafa says, the problem I have with these government officials is that none of them will tell us the truth. It is too sad. Only God knows what Sierra Leoneans are going through. Even though we don't ask for too much, we ask for basic facilities only. Or are we asking for too much, Alpha Khan? There's a question here. And Amin Dainke says, our party supporters in Southeast chased APC representatives out of the polling stations and talking of RRF. This is shameful and dishonest to the highest degree. Aliko Ben Kroma says APC is always threatening the peace of this country as if this is their village. Let them stop threatening the peace of the country. Mohammed Siddiqui Kalon says, where is the world going? Where in the world does the country's price of commodities increase and drastically decrease? You have to be grateful and appreciate the effort President Bio's governance shows to the less privileged. When your party was there, Was there any decrease in commodities? Here is the question. Of course, Edwina John says, it has been over 2 decades since Sierra Leone emerged from the horror of a brutal civil war. The guns have long gone silent, but the political rhetoric hasn't. Time and again, we hear the same refrain from our leaders, particularly from the ruling SLPP, and now even from Alpha Khan, once a loyal APC minister and now a spokesman for the SLPP, warning about protecting the peace. But whose peace are they talking about? And why do they keep acting as if war is still around the corner? This constant invocation of peace has become more than a reflection on our past. It has become a tool of political manipulation. Patrick Musa Momodu says, do I hear Honorable saying APC did a fair share to the country? Like, seriously? Why did APC create new districts and regions in their stronghold and failed to create single districts from south and southeast? Thomas Rogers says, when government officials in Sierra Leone talk about peace, they often refuse it with the simple absence of war. Yes, we are not experiencing open conflict or civil war anymore, but that only does not mean we are truly living in peace. Peace is not just about guns being silenced, it is also about people having justice, security, equal opportunities, and a sense of well-being. Right now, many Sierra Leoneans are not happy. They face poverty, unemployment, corruption, poor health care, and a lack of trust in the system. These struggles create frustration and tension in society. Arthur Ama Tommy says, Honorable Alpha Khan is truly an asset to this country. I admire him for his sense of humor in public discourses. Ibrahim Takima says, Mr. Presidential Spokesman, would you have supported President Bio if you had maintained your political credentials as APC member, or if you had not been appointed under the same circumstances? The last we can take is from Shaka Conte. He says, people always blame these two political parties who have ruled the country to be responsible for our predicament. So true. But what about the military intervention? Those are the messages, and back to you, Victor Jones.
Thank you very much indeed, Emmanuel. I'll start from the rear. Honorable Alpha, if you would like to respond to some of those messages.
Yes, one of the comments there is about when my leader here was talking about RRF, you know, in the southeast, especially Pujong and Bo, party agents were chased out of the district. And so we had in party agents in Pujong. It was all over the social media.
The agents were chased?
Yes, they were chased out of the, in fact, they have to be escorted. In fact, the security made it very clear that they cannot, it's the security in this country, made it very clear that they cannot provide security for the party agent because of the tense situation in Pujong. And so they fled, they left. And we've seen where houses were burnt in Bo and some part of the country. Those recommendations were part of the tripartite. And then for fair share, what I said, for me, and I think former President Ernest Bai Koroma left a very good model of national cohesion. We've seen it, and when they compare the two political parties, our citizen knows that the APC has served well, and the APC is the best party for this country.
Even at the states that we are in at the moment?
Yeah,
even at the level of poverty? Even
at the level, we've seen the realities. We've seen the reality between the two political parties. Those who are working in the public sector, private sector, all walks of life, they can share their stories, how their lives were when the APC was in governance and compared to that of the current SLPP. And then with regards to definition of peace, one of the texters have given us a concise definition to that of what we said here. But we're not talking about war. There are many definitions. Of course, he has also helped all of us here. I don't want to point it to Honorable Alpha Khan, but has given us a concise definition of peace to justify the points we're making here. So I think that's the few comments I will respond on. And the rest of other comments, I appreciate the texters for also supporting the discourse. I'm not saying they're supporting me, but I think what most of them said is in favor of the citizens. And we are here talking on behalf of the citizens.
Let me now hear from Dr. Alhaji.
Thank you very much. Bakima, would I have supported President Bill if I was still in the APC? Yes. I supported President Bill when I was in the APC. As a member of the APC. When he asked me to join his team as social mobilization advisor for NACOVAC, I did. I was still APC. And I asked permission from the APC for me to go and do that. When he called for Bintu Mani 4, I went to the party office and told my colleagues, let's go. They all refused to go. I was the only one who went. That was a missed opportunity for the peace of Sierra Leone to happen. So I supported President Bill. I only joined the SLPP on the 28th of April last year, 2023. It was 2023, not last year. Because I waited. And they were showing me that they don't want me. They will go to Potloko and they refused to call me to their meetings. I was still quite useful. So I said, look, let me go to where I'm wanted. But that club where they don't want you, no good. They keep you on the bench if you are lucky, but they keep you outside the stadium. So I went to the ones who wanted me in the field, and I'm there now. So that answers your question. The inclusivity where this man they talk about. He wants to name them. He did not do it. I want you to name them. I want you to call Dr. Sandi. He was Minister of Lands. No, at the time he was here, Minister of Lands. Benjamin. Soko Kabia. J.B. Dauda was APC already. He was not a SLPP. He called Soko Kabia, I just called him, and the architect John Saad, Minister of Works and all that. Why were they appointed in a coalition with PMDC? It was an agreement. If PMDC had not joined us in 2007, we wouldn't have won that election. So that was a reward. But they were quickly kicked out of the government, all of them. Not one of them stayed. That is because it was the discretion of the president. What the president is talking about today, let us codify coalition. Let us make it an obligation on the parties to work together. I just gave you the example of Switzerland. I gave you the example of Northern Ireland, the example of Austria, the example of Italy. They're working together, even Germany. The present chancellor in Germany, he has only 28% of the vote, 28, and he's chancellor. Because they all came together and said, let's work. Look at South Africa. After Mandela won the elections, what did he do? The worst enemies, the DA, Democratic Alliance, said, let's come to work together for South Africa. And that is how they avoided civil war. So these are the things. If we were sitting at the table today, he wouldn't be saying this. He would be showing me those people he knows that are actually manufacturing the kush. He would be showing me the people who are doing the code. But if they know them and they don't tell us, they say, let's push on the ground. That thing, that kush go pull government apart. Now we don't pick any so far.
The public view.
Which public view? Tell me.
All of them.
Who are they? Show us to them. Show them to us. We will go there. Please. We don't know. Some of us don't know these areas. Go show me. I go follow you. Can I come tomorrow? Then we can go there. So this is my situation. So the people that really ask about political rhetoric and all that, yes. Now because we are fighting for winner takes all. If we are fighting together, there will be no political rhetoric. We'll be looking for everything I say. If I say you pass the ball to the left, and then if you send it to the right, you in the center, you're able to score. You say, yes, do them. But if I say I'm going to pass the ball to the left and then go to the right, he said, well, I'm not going to, I'm not going to pass that ball there. He said, that is the kind of thing. We want to make sure that we work together for Sierra Leone. Somebody says, Alpha Kanu, I've been the APC, I did talk for APC, yes. I was a member, a loyal APC member. Then I was working for the government of Sierra Leone. I am now a loyal SLPP member. I am working for the government of Sierra Leone. Don't mix the two. The party and the government are two different things. I am a member of the SLPP, but I didn't take it to my office. I work with everybody. I work for Sierra Leone. When I want to do SLPP work, I go to the party office. I go to the rallies. I go to the conventions. But when it comes to government work, it's for Sierra Leone. It's for you. I work for you. So this is the kind of things we do. We must separate party from the state. I am a loyal Sierra Leonean, and I will always look at Sierra Leone like it must the same way as Madabio. The man hold power and I say, Buna, come. Let us see how we can work together. He called us in 2018. As soon as he knows what I mean, he said I send a hand of friendship to Dr. Samora Kamara. He refused. He didn't go. But me, when he called me 2020 for go fetch Ebola, I go Ebola. Corona. I go. I did it. And the city can walk out and say, this man could be a good left winger. That's why I'm in the Northwest.
Sure. You're not a left winger.
I'm a left winger. I'm in the Northwest. I'm in AK
Alphonsus.
Yeah, I think I want to say thanks to all the people that contributed to the program. Maybe one thing I just want to take and want to fish out, and Big Brother have also mentioned it, this issue of these two political parties fighting each other. And I think if the leadership, now I'm not speaking to the leadership of these two political parties, because I have realized that people, supporters down there, listen to their leaders. If I came back today from McKinney, from the convention of the Knights of St. John, the Grand Freetown and McKinney Grand Commandery. I was there last week. If at the time I was there last week, people were still talking that President Bio is going to hand over power to Samora Kamara. It tells you that people trust and believe the word that comes out from the leaders. So that's why I want to speak to the leaders. Because the country, the national pledge, if APC and SLPP leadership will go and read the national pledge, let them don't read it in English. Let them don't read it in Creole. If you are a Limba, call somebody to translate the national pledge in Limba to you, you will understand it properly. I think if they do that, the leadership will start to change their dynamics. We are failing. We keep saying that I pledge my love and loyalty to my country, Sierra Leone. The leadership of these two political parties, they are not. It's to their own political party. I vow to serve her faithfully at all times. No! They serve their party faithfully, not this country.
Including Dr. Khan here?
No,
I'm talking about the party, APC and SLPP.
Both the parties.
Yes, the parties.
Not statesmen like
No, I'm referring to the party. Instead of promise to defend their honor, they are defending their political party. As we seated here, that my brother there is defending APC. Doctor is defending SLPP. That is what is displayed.
I'm defending the interests of citizens.
No. You are bringing all the negative odds of the SLPP. You are talking about how do you project. And they want to say, I put our interests above all else. No, they are putting their political party above all else. If you go to parliament now, if these people are so serious, they will not be cherry picking. And Escoma did something good by bringing, Chiyankaba started, we went, a lot of Peter Tucker, you name this, on the constitution. The constitution is not for SLPP, not for APC. It's for this country. Today, SLPP will leave power. If the constitution is bad, it will haunt them. You don't make a constitution for yourself, you make constitution for the nation set on board. But as we speak, there are challenges now as to how, we don't even know what is going on with the constitutional review process. People don't know. And the constitution, should be the document that protects everybody, even when you are in power and when you leave power. But they don't do that. And that is why many times people say, let us pray. Me, anybody who tells me to go and pray for this country, I will not. Because God has given us, the national pledge has given us 5 key areas to address for God to intervene. If we are not doing any of those 5, they say, so help me God. People go to, in fact, we have more churches, we have more mosques in this country, and yet evil is on the increase. So you start to ask yourself, why do we have churches? So politicians are going to church just to, they are mocking God, they are not mocking anybody. Why do we have more churches? And we have, people have hatred, they develop hatred. APC hates SLPP to the extent, SLPP hates APC to the extent. The country will not move forward. APC should love SLPP. SLPP should love APC. Then we will start to think about the generations yet unborn. And so let's forget about hate. Let's think about the national pledge.
Right.
Let's do it. And I'm appealing, Mr. Advisor, and I'm appealing to you, my brother. Let us change the rhetoric. Let us temper the tone. And let's take our national pledge.
Right.
Down there. Our people will enjoy. All of us will enjoy as a nation.
Thank you so very much indeed, Alphonsus Bani. A while ago.
We should read it before we go.
Of course.
You want to read the pledge?
Oh, yes, please.
Oh, briefly, please.
1, 2, 3. I pledge my love and loyalty to my country, Sierra Leone. I vow to serve her faithfully at all times. I promise to defend her honor and good name. Always work for our unity, peace, freedom, and prosperity. And put our interest above all else. So help me God. So help me God. Lift your fingers up, man. Lift your hands up.
Me God.
Thank you.
So help me God.
Thank you.
It has to come from my heart.
All right. Thank you
Not from
very
my
much
hands.
indeed for that. For that song. It's, you know, a while ago, my elder colleague Lamagana asked his listeners to recite the national pledge in their various languages, and people were calling and singing and reading the pledge that morning. I feel it starts here, but thank you so much indeed, all of you, for coming tonight. We will end today's edition of AYB on Sunday here. On the panel, we are Honorable Dr. Alhaji Alpha Kadu, Principal Advisor to and spokesperson for President Madabio. Alphonsus Bani is the Executive Secretary for the Human Rights Defenders Network. Also tonight we had Honorable Alpha Ben Mansare. Now he is Deputy Parliamentary Spokesperson of the main opposition, All People's Congress. Thank you very much indeed to my producers, Emmanuel Nyakemomo and Ransford McLean, graphic editor Joshua Steady Bangura, and the entire AYB on Sunday technical and graphical crew. Now, in case you missed part of this live session today, the program will be rebroadcast on Tuesday morning at 11 a.m. on our international channel on 399 on DSTV. My name, as always, are Victor Jones, and you've been watching and hearing us from the top of Tower Hill on Wesley Street in the heart of this beautiful and sprawling city called Freetown, where our studios are housed. Up next tonight is Primetime News. Good night.